Welcome to this session. Under the scheme of AICT Pre-Rana, our college is conducting a GATE classes for our students. I am Fatima Daraskrezi, Assistant Professor in Civil Department, Erode Sengundar Engineering College. Subject is Foundation Engineering. In that, the session is Pile Foundation. So the topic is Introduction to the Deep Foundations. So the major topics are classification of deep foundation, then introduction to the pile foundation, uses, classifications of pile foundation, pile installation method, and then pile spacing, negative skin frictions. So introduction of the deep foundation is, we may know that foundation are two types. One is shallow foundation, another one is deep foundations. In deep foundation, it provides the support for a structure by the toe resistance in an competent soil or rock at some depth below the structure and or by the shaft resistance. So it is also called it a skin resistance. In this picture we can able to see while erecting the pile they may have some resistance. So this one we can call it a skin resistance. It is applicable in the soil or rock whichever it is placed, and then here at the bottom here it is firm soil, and top we are having the soft compressible soil. The pile is inserted, so this Q is called it as load. So this GWT is groundwater table. The soft soil becoming increasingly stiff with depth. So when we use deep foundation, the depth and width should be greater than or equal to 4. The load bearing capacity of the soil, if the load bearing capacity of the soil applicable, we can go for the deep foundation. When there is a non-availability of the proper bearing stratum at shallow depths, we will go for the deep foundation. Then heavy loads from the structure for which shallow foundation may not be economical or feasible. So in that case also we will go for the deep foundation. So these are the classifications of the deep foundation. So first one is pile foundation, second one is pier, third one is caissons, fourth one is well foundation, and then fifth one is sheet piles. Caissons or well foundations are heavier in section and they are sunk to the required depth. So definition of the pile foundation is, the pile foundation may be of any material, either it may be timber or steel or precast pile or cast in situ pile, either it may be reinforced concrete, but it should be in a vertical shape, and it is used as a structural element for transferring the load at the required depth. In the deep foundation is called pile. So these are the long slender members, either it may be driven or cast in situ, and it may be subjected to the vertical or vertical plus lateral loads. So these are the various steps of the pile execution. Here the tripod is sitting there. The basic thing is standard penetration test. So while using the standard penetration test, we may able to driven the pile into the ground. So first thing is we have to driven the pile, and then by using the pulley, first thing is we have to excavation the soil, and after that we are inserting the pile foundation. Here the third step is we are constructing the reinforcement rods in any shape, either it may be circular or square or rectangular shape. Here they are doing the barbering schedule of the or reinforcement rods, tie up of the reinforcement rods. They are erecting in this picture into the excavation. After that they are using the using that casing and this funnel, keeping the casing over the funnel, and they are inserting the concrete so that it will be placed into the pile. So this one we can call it as cast in situ pile. See here, these are the major arrangements of the reinforcement rods. So here it is a pile foundation, pile load test. This one is a pile load test. We are keeping there under the load. Under the load, they are placing the hydraulic jack, and then dial gauge is also placed. So by testing, these are the major methods or field test. This is the field test which can be able to able to take out before going for the pile foundation. They may test this method. So this one we can call it as pile load test. So these are the uses of the piles. Piles may be used for the following purposes. So first thing is we have to check the end bearing or compressive strength. So this is that it is used to transfer the load through a soft soil to a suitable bearing stratum by means of end bearing of the piles. The next thing is car depth to transfer the load through water for any hydraulic structure, because in this case we have to keep the foundation of the cover depth below the bed level. Example for river Ravi, scar depth is 30 to 35 meter below the bed. So if we go for the shallow foundation, we will have to make an open pit so that the coffer, dam, diversion of the river, etc. is to be noted, and it is highly uneconomical. So normally it is applicable only in the hydraulic structure, or it is at the river bed, and then the cover depth will be 30 to 35 meter. The next topic is tension or uplift. For a very tall structure, even if the soil is very good, but here the overturning is the problem. So while we look at the tower or water tanks, so there will be, as it is a high structure or very tall structure, there may be a problem that is we can call it as overturning. Either it makes the base very larger, or we have to make a deep foundation. Then next thing is vibration control. If a machine is generating a high vibrations, then to observe the vibrations, either make a massive block, or the next choice is deep foundation. But massive black is very expensive. Example at Terbela, the shaft of the turbine is 2 meter, and when it runs there, the area has lot of vibrations. The next topic is compaction piles. So in order to compact the granular soils and to increase the air bearing capacity, piles are used. So that pile we can call it as compaction piles. The next topic is anchor piles. To provide anchorage against the horizontal pull from the sheet piling walls or other pulling forces. The next topic is fender piles. To protect the waterfront structure against impacts from ships or other floating objects. So by using the fender piles, it may be applicable only for the waterfront structures. And then the next topic is batter piles. It is used to resist the large horizontal or inclined forces. Then we can see the classification of the piles with respect to mode of construction. First one is mode of construction, then second one is material of the construction, then third topic is material of load, fourth topic is function of pile, and then fifth topic is shape, and sixth one is size. So while we go for the classifications with respect to mode of construction, the first topic is precast. So precast, either it can be called it as driven piles, and casting situ piles is also called it as bored piles. So undersized bore, it is feasible because of less noise. Undersized hole is dug and full size pile is driven. By driving the piles, the soil is displaced, so the type may be high volume, no volume, and then low volume displaced pile. So we'll go for the high volume displaced pile, the volume almost equal to the volume of the pile. So if it is no volume or low volume, there is no option to this both conditions. So next here we can able to see the schematic or diagram for the pile drilling. So here it is the auger boring. So while for excavation they will use the auger boring or auger and shell boring to driven over the earth surface, and after that they will provide a pile They will provide a pile. Either it may be cast in situ or precast. The next topic is classification with respect to material of construction. The first one is timber pile. So timber pile is it is oldest method. Nowadays they are not using the timber piles, and it is like the trunk of wooden tree, and then it is also the oldest pile. The next topic is concrete pile. Third topic is steel pile, and fourth topic is composite pile. So composite pile is certain portion by one material and certain portion by other material. Either it may be wood with concrete or concrete with steel. We can the combination of the two material we can call it as composite pile. Then classification with respect to the material of load. So sometimes thin section is predominant and sometimes the end bearing also. First topic is frictional pile. If major part is taken by the shaft of the pile, then very weak soils of large beds are available. Then second one is end bearing pile. When a soil layer of reasonable strength is available at a reasonable depth. The combination of the two is friction cum bearing pile. Then classification with respect to function of pile. First topic is compression pile to resist the compressive load, and then second topic is tension pile or anchor pile, and third topic is compaction pile. So compaction pile is granular soil that is very loose and can be compacted by driving the pile at one place. Then they are pulled out and driven at the next place. In this way, the sand is densified. So this is the compaction pile. So next topic is classification with respect to the function of pile. First topic is fender piles. It is used near sea part to protect the harbor just to absorb the impact of floating objects. Then second topic is batter piles. Provided at an inclination, their stability is more against overturning. Then third topic is sheet piles. To reduce seepage or to provide the lateral stability. Then the next topic is classification with respect to shape. First topic is round piles, second is square piles, then third topic is octagonal piles, and fourth is high shaped piles, fifth topic is straight piles, sixth one is tapered piles, seventh topic is bell bottom piles, and eighth topic is screw piles. So if we see, we can able to see the cross section of the steel pile. See here, it is a cross section of the X. It is like X. Then second topic is it is a eye-shaped cross section, and then third one is circular shape. Then next topic is classification with respect to size. So there are three sizes available. First one is large diameter pile that should be more than 24 inches. And second topic is small diameter pile that should be greater than 6 inches to 24 inches. Then third topic is micro diameter pile. It is equal to 4 inches to 6 inches. So these are used for the projects or for repair work. Then the root pile, or it is like a rectangular shape. It is used for the special projects. Either it may be used for under pressing or pre-stressing work or repair work, like that they may use. If it is more than 24 inches, we may call it as pier. As we saw before, there are various types of pile foundation. First one is pile, and second one is pier foundation. Then third is well foundation. Fourth one is caissons. So if the diameter increases, we go for the pier foundation. So how does a pile look like? We can able to see the pile here. First one is point bearing pile, and second one is friction pile, and third one is uplift piles. Before presenting the actual picture of the pile foundation, some schematic pictures are there. See, for soft strata, this as it is a soft strata, The point bearing pile will be at the ground level. And then friction pile. In friction pile, if you're if you're placing the pile here, some resistance is applicable at the corner, at the edge of the pile. It is like upper direction. While you go for this uplift pile, the direction is at the downward line. And here also we can able to see the picture. So while you are using the hydro, it is used for waterfront structures. The hydro pressure is applicable at the top, and this is battered piles and tensile and uplift piles. Here, while using, if you are using swelling soil, so that the stable soil will be at the bottom and swelling soil will be at the top. So these are the various types of piles and then loads carried by them. We can able to see the schematics of the pile foundation based on the method of construction. First, we are providing a falling weight drop hammer. Here pile is there, we are providing a falling weight drop hammer. The first stage is initial stage is this. After that, here the pile is completely inserted into the ground. So this is driven piles. While you go for the board piling, so the board pile is like this auger drill, and then excavated shaft is like this. So after excavating the soil, we have to replace the excavated area by reinforcement rods, and the concrete should be filled. See here, it is a in situ concrete, it is filled in this area, and this here the completion of the pile, we may able to see the completion of the pile. Then third topic is pile installation. The methods are the installation process and method of installations are equally important factors as of the design process of the pile foundation. In this section, we will discuss the two main types of pile installation method. So first one is installation by pile hammer, and second one is boring by mechanical auger. In order to avoid damages to the piles during design, installation methods and installation equipment should be carefully selected. If installation is to be carried out using pile hammer, then following factors should be taken into the consideration. So we have to look over the size and weight of the pile, then the driving resistance which has to be overcome to achieve the design penetration, the available space and headroom on the site, then availability of the cranes and noise restrictions which may be in the force in the locality. Then second topic is pile driving methods. It is also called it as displacement piles. The methods of pile driving can be categorized as follows. Then first topic is dropping weight, second one is explosion, third is vibration, and then fourth one is jacking, fifth one is jetting. So before going through the pile installation methods, we have to understand the various terminology. The first one is driven precast pile. The pile is casted in a yard, brought to the site and driven by some mechanism into the soil. So driven cast in situ is a casing plugged at bottom is driven into the ground, and then the pile is casted by removing or retaining the casing. Then the third topic is board precast pile. A board is made and the soil inside is removed, and then a pile casted in some yard is put into the board. Then fourth topic is board cast in situ pile. A board is made, the soil is removed, and the pile is casted at site in the board. The next topic is drop hammers. A hammer with approximately the weight of the pile is raised a suitable height in a guide and released to strike the pile head This is a simple form of hammer and it is used in the conjunction with light trains and test piling where it may be uneconomical to bring the steam boiler or compressor on to a site to drive very limited number of piles. So there are various, in drop hammers there are various types. Mm, so it may be either a double acting steam hammer or single acting steam hammer and all. It depends upon the constant value. Yes, we can able to see the types of drop hammers. One is single acting steam or compressed air hammers, and then second one is double acting pile hammers. So here we can able to see the mechanical auger schematics. Here drilling, the first process is drilling, and second process is we are pumping the concrete, and third is auger with the while concreting, and then this is the finished pile. So these are the schematic of the pile driving with hammer. First, here we can see the drop hammer, hammer guide, pile or precast or casing pile. It may be precast casing, it may be casting schedule. Here, this one is the driving shoe. Below that, we are having the soil. Either it may be firm soil or soft soil or hard rock. We can able to see the mechanical auger picture. Here we can able to see how the soils are extracted from the ground level. This one we can call it as rotary board drilling. Here we can able to see in this blade, all the blades are filled with the soil, and it is excavated, and after that only we are placing the casting pile. So what are the loads coming onto the pile foundation? So all the loads from the superstructure, wise dead loads, live loads and wind loads and seismic loads. The loads from the surrounding soil in case of seismic events, water loads in the case of offshore structures. So we can able to see the piles usually exist as groups which are all integrated by means of the pile cap as shown in the figure. Here see the plan will be like this. The number of piles are arranged by like this. These are all connected with the slab like structure on the top, which we can call it as pile cap. The pile cutoff level is this. So this one we can call it as elevation. Horizontally we are having some load or pull load or shear load. We can call it a shear load. So this one is vertical load, or we can able to say the pile load. So here we have to note down the spacing of piles. Here number of piles are 16. So number of piles are 16 and it is placed in a 4 in column wise and in row wise. So number of spacing is 3. So while we have to find out the breadth of the pile, so that the B value will be B is equal to n into S plus diameter. So n is number of spacing. Here the number of spacing is 3. So B is equal to number of spacing is 3 S plus diameter of the pile, so that we can able to find out the breadth of the pile. So what are the load carrying mechanisms of the piles? When the bearing pile comes, friction piles carry vertical compressive loads partly by means of resistance offered by the hard stratum at the tip of the pile and partly by the friction developed between the pile shaft and soil. A pure friction piles carry the major part of the loads only by means of friction developed between pile shaft and soil, and pure ending piles only by means of bearing resistance at the tip of the pile. In both the above cases, lateral loads are carried by the lateral resistance offered by the surrounding soil. So schematics showing axial load carrying mechanisms or axial displacement, fixed reaction Q. These are the units in friction. Here the pile load, head load, we can call it as P naught. So here also the load carrying mechanisms of the pile subjected to the lateral loading and then moment. So soil resistance is applicable here. We can able to see the rotation and the lateral displacement and all. Here the load carrying mechanism of pile is subjected to tension or pull out. So the pile in tension is applicable here. So the only friction weight of the pile will resist the tension. What is meant by load carrying capacity of the pile foundation? So the load carrying capacity of the pile in the context of the foundation engineering. The amount of load the pile can carry without undergoing continuous displacement for insignificant load increments by virtue of its boundary condition and not by virtue of its structural strength. So the assumptions are the failure of surrounding soil occurs prior to the failure of the pile material, especially in the case of concrete piles. Then we can able to see the pile capacity. So these are the various capacities available. First one is axial capacity, second one is lateral capacity, and third one is pull out capacity or tension capacity. How to estimate the capacity of the pile? What are the approaches? There are two approaches. One is field approach and second one is theoretical approach. So the field approach is the pile is loaded to the desired level and its capacity is estimated. In the theoretical level, the pile capacity is calculated using some formulae into which soil data expect for obtaining the capacity. The field approach is that a test pile of the required dimension is constructed in the field and the load test is conducted to assess the capacity of the pile. This approach gives more realistic estimate of pile capacity. However, it is time consuming and costly. So these are the load tests on a single pile. First one is stress test and second one is strain test. In stress test, the major loads are maintained load test. Either it also called it a static vertical load test. Second topic is constant rate of penetration test. Third topic is lateral load test, and fourth one is dynamic load test, and fifth one is cyclic load test. In strain test, the first topic is low strain integrity testing, and second topic is high strain integrity testing. The pile load tests are usually carried out for the following main reasons. So obtain back-figured soil data that will enable other piles to be designed. To confirm pile length and hence contract cost before the client is committed to overall job cost. To counter check results from geotechnical and pile driving formulae. We have to determine the load settlement curve by using the graph, and we can able to find out the behavior of the pile, especially in the region of the anticipated working load, that the data can be used for the prediction of group settlement. Then last topic is to verify the structural soundness of the pile. So we can able to see the field setup of the static axial compressive load test on single pile. So here it is a test schematic. Here the real time. They are providing a concrete blocks over that. In the below the ground level, they will place the hydraulic jack. The air gauge will be fixed and the deflection will be calculated, and then load settlement diagram will be drawn by using this experiments. So here we can see the load settlement curve. From the above plot, the load settlement curve approaches a vertical asymptote. Okay. Within this, the chapter is over. Thank you.